Hello, all you beautiful, extraordinary beings. My name is Deanna Bamford. Everybody calls me Dee. I'm a Reiki master, psychic, Ascension channel, and channeler based here in beautiful San Diego, California. I hope you are doing absolutely fantastic today. Welcome to your weekly Oracle card reading channel message, and maybe a few times we'll do some activations. I just intuitively feel into everything, and it's whatever the universe, source energy has in store for us today. I hope you enjoy. This is an intuitive card reading. So each week I will be picking different oracle cards, different decks, whatever calls to me and to all of you on that particular day for that particular week. This week I will be using Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle deck. I will place her information in this video. If you're interested, she's fantastic. I love Rebecca Campbell. So each week it can be different. There'll be times where I intuitively pick up one card, two cards, or how many cards the universe will like to give us as messages that are coming through for you right at this moment. Beautiful. So I'm just gonna there's different ways when shuffling cards or feeling into that one can do. Always remember your left hand is your intuitive hand. So when picking a card, always try to pick it with your left hand. Beautiful. This message is for this week, for the collective. Ooh, okay, it's gonna be this one. And it's gonna be this one too. Beautiful. So the first card we got for the collective is Trust Your Path. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? The second card is Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It is happening. Beautiful. So I'm just going to tune into the cards and explore a little bit more with this particular card reading for this week. There's a lot of giggling energy. It's a lot in the ethers and in the atmosphere right now. With trusting your path, this card really shows, and it's a validation and confirmation that you are on the right track. You are on your path. You've placed your order with God, universe, source. All you have to do now is trust that it is going to come. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to take any action. Let me give you an example. You have a garden or you have a farm, you plant the seed and you're not worrying, is it gonna grow? Is it not gonna grow? Is it gonna come? Is it not gonna come? What is gonna happen? You continue to water it accordingly. You continue to nurture it accordingly. But you know that in whatever the timeline is for that particular seed, it will happen, right? You're like, oh, in 2 weeks, I will see progress. Same is for you at this moment. Know and trust that you have deliberately created what you want. You put on your order. Now it's time to trust that it is being delivered. And with this, I'm getting a lot of not the second guessing or continue to push. It's like we feel a lot of times that we have to work hard on something to make it happen. Not at all. It's simple that we've done it and we trust that it's gonna happen. We continue to go through our lives and we just send this vibration, this energy of wow, how it would feel once I receive it. It's really tough for a lot of people out there to come into the state because if we can't see it, we don't believe it, right? This is where really trusting and surrendering to the process comes in really strongly. Surrender does not mean succumbing or giving up. Surrender means I trust. I trust that I'm doing the right things. And this is a validation that you are in the right path. Everything that you've done to this point, and I know 2020 has not been very kind to a lot of people, or at least you perceive it as it hasn't been very kind. It has shown us that either we can push and force and try to what it was before to come back, or we can trust that we are evolving humans. We're evolving with our energy also. Oh, my eyes just crying. Ooh, validation. So trusting your path, especially this week, trust what you're doing is the best you can, and that it's it because you are enough. And it is enough because you are enough. So trust your path this week, okay? Okay, so here's a little bit of homework with that. What this week, if you feel you've taken action accordingly to something that you desire, notice how are you holding back or where are you pushing? And how does that feel? And if there's any wiggle room to let go. The other card is Lemuria. Creating heaven on earth. It's happening, and it is. You are creating. So you have the path that you're trusting, but you're creating the type of world that you want for yourself. And I know when I use those words, they may seem very expansive and very out there. It's like, well, the world is not looking very desirable at this moment. But what can you create in your own current reality, knowing and understanding that your current reality is not your ultimate destination. There's a lot more coming. There's a lot more to savor. However, allow yourself to savor in this moment. How can you create your type of heaven on earth right at this moment? Savor, relish in that moment. Just for a moment. Without judgment, without criticism. Appreciate yourself, love yourself a little more. And then a little more. Just notice how that feels in your body at this moment. So, those are the two cards that are for today, for this week. Feel into them. Notice what resonates and what doesn't. Notice if you're holding on some resistance or if you're more letting go and letting in. That's a lot of what happens. When we let go, we actually let in. We allow, we create this room of receptivity for what is of our desire to come through. You're a magnificent being. Allow yourself to savor, to love, to be, to feel. And what is it that you desire? Because it is your birthright to be happy. I'm going to tap in. What is the message for the collective? Even though these cards are very powerful. The first thing I hear, so this is coming a lot from the Ascension masters. They're just like, we are working in this Ascension process, and especially as we're coming towards the end in their quote unquote end of the year. And one of the very first things that feels in is like, hey, let's chat just a little bit about the energy amplification that we're coming to. So on Monday, November 30th, we have this full moon in Gemini and also a lunar eclipse. This can bring conflict. It can bring a little bit of separation, judgment, because it's really intense. However, if you stay yourself fully grounded where you are and center, this will not impact you in your life, or it will not impact you in the way you thought. Notice and pay attention on how you respond rather than react to certain situations, especially to the recurrent situations in your life. Allowing yourself to be in that state of allowance. The full moon comes with a lot of really strong release sense. Where do I need to let go? Where do I need to loosen up a little more? Allow that. Again, allowance, allowance, allowance. I keep hearing that. Allowance, allowance, allowance. That's all they want to say right now. They're like, there's been a lot of information. We deliver a lot. We want. They're like, okay, it doesn't really matter what we want, but our desire would be to encourage you to continue to self-explore within the self and to notice where you're holding yourself back and where you're struggling to let go, and just realizing that you're supported, that you're loved, that you're held at all times, and to savor, love your human, be with the human, don't curse the human, judge the human. This is your vessel. Love it, savor it. Be one with source. So much love. And let's see if anything else is coming through. I just hear a lot of giggle. There's a lot of giggle. They're encouraging us to be a little bit more in a joyful and playful state. Smile a little more. Allow, again, yourself to have fun. And when we're struggling sometimes of how does that can look, begin with appreciation. Gratitude, it's the highest, one of the highest vibrations, right there next to love. That gratitude can really allow us to dive into the love frequency. You are a vibrational being, living in a vibrational planet, speaking a vibrational language. Trust and believe in that. Trust and believe in that. Just sending you so much love, so much love, so much high vibrational frequency your way, that this week everything and anything you desire comes into fruition a little more each time, each day, that you wake up with a sense of purpose for the self, a sense of appreciation and gratitude for what you desire, because you deserve it all. I love you all so very much. We will see you here next week. I will be doing videos every Wednesday. Please feel free to message me at any time. I always love to hear from all of you. And we'll see you next week. Tons of love.